Hello, everyone, and welcome into Bad for Baseball, the baddest baseball podcast on the internet. I'm your host, Nicholas Playlock, joined alongside by Adam Peddle. This is brought to you by Betway, so shout out to them, and shout out to all of the free agents right now who are opting out of their contracts, looking to get a bag. That's what we're seeing right now, everybody. Free agency opens up today, November 4th. It's official. People can sign later this evening and then moving forward into the winter. And a big conversation was about Gerrit Cole, about Blake Snell, about many others that we're going to get into today. Are they going to hit the free agency market or not? Because all of their contracts and their situations have various just implications and options and everything like that. They are choosing to potentially hit the free agency market. We'll see if their teams let them. And along with that, you're getting conversations about Juan Soto and other big-time free agents. There's lots to talk about today, man, now that the World Series has finished. It's done. It's dusted. And we are now on to the official offseason.
Yeah, it's good to be here, right? It feels like I needed a little bit of change of pace. I mean, I'm not a Dodger fan. I'm not a Yankee fan. I'm not a fan of a team that went to the playoffs. So, essentially, I've been chilling in the backseat watching other people have success for basically over a month now. So, it's nice to see that we're finally getting to that point where, hey, let's go see some moves. Let's go get our better team. You know, all these teams that were coming up short, let's go get better. And there's a lot of guys that could do that. Starting off with Gerrit Cole, I mean, this is a weird situation because, you know, Gerrit Cole opted out of his deal, and it's not because he doesn't, you know, like the Yankees necessarily or doesn't want to play for the Yankees. He's just trying to squeeze out an extra year of control and an extra year of $36 million. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he's got currently, before he opted out, it was 4 years left on his deal. Yes.
That's right.
And then it was $36 million per year. And basically by opting out, he's given the Yankees today until 5 p.m. The option to add on an extra $36 million to avoid him completely getting opted out and hitting the free agency market.
Yeah, effectively, like to really boil it down, the Yankees just need to decide, do we want to sign Gerrit Cole for 5 years, $180 million? That's the decision, right?
Yeah. That sounds like a pretty good deal.
Yeah, you know, I mean, like at the end of the day, I'm like, all right, like, sure, right? This is one of the best pitchers in baseball. We saw him on full display in the postseason, and now that he is fully healthy, I think that, you know, from a Yankees perspective, you can definitely buy into the fact that he's going to be good for at least a couple more years. So the decision is simple. We sign him for 5 years, 180. If not, then he will hit the free agency market. And selfishly, I want them to say no just because, like, somebody like Gerrit Cole, you know, that would just like really throw a wrench into all of the offseason. Like, I'm looking at the starting pitching market right now, and you know, Corbin Burns is kind of dominating that like ace category, right? Like, there's a couple other ones. Like I think
Max Fried, and then Blake Snell just joined. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a couple other guys that are like up there, but like I do think that Corbin Burns is kind of in a tier by himself. He would be joined by Gerrit Cole if Gerrit Cole was to opt out and actually hit the free agency market. So it would just be like an interesting mix into this whole like starting pitching market if, of course, the Yankees decline.
Yeah, you know, for Gerrit Cole, it kind of sucks. Like, I mean, it doesn't suck. You're making a lot of money, but you know, it kind of sucks that this kind of option was built in for the Yankees that they could, we'll just add on one more year up the exact same AAV, right? It's like, it's not like you're increasing or in value. Because for Cole, like, I think about it, you're 34 years old, you're in your prime because you've been the ace for so long and you're so dependable. I feel like you deserve more money than just that 100 and what was it, $86 million?
180 for 5 years.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, I guess the way that I look at it is like this is kind of for both parties. Like, I think that when they signed their deal, like, correct me if I'm wrong, it was like a 324 or 300, right?
9 year.
Like, yeah. So when they signed that deal, I think about an option like this, and I feel like it was kind of just discussed and decided that, okay, if you're still playing good baseball, we'll accept it.
Yeah.
And like that's just, like they kind of made the I guess like decided that this was always going to be the case, you know, back then. Like I imagined that was going to be the conversation.
Right.
And he is still playing good baseball, so he's doing his end of it. And I would imagine that the New York Yankees are going to withhold their side of things and be like, all right, we'll pick it up and you know, just like keep on keeping on. Maybe in today's market, if he did hit the you know, the open area to all 30 teams, could he get more than 180 for 5 years? Potentially, right?
So, yeah.
You know, it's possible, right? You
Yeah.
could see a New York Mets team or an LA Dodgers team, or it would have to be a big market squad that is like in on it, going out and maybe even reaching into the bag and going up to that $200 million mark.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I mean, like, you're still talking about somebody who's going to get paid $36 million a year. This is going to take him to age 39.
38. Yeah.
Excuse me. So, I mean, like, he's going right up until the end of it all. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think he'll be happy with it regardless of what they decide to do here.
They always wanted to, and Cole always wanted to stay and remain as a New York Yankee. So this is just part of the procedure, you know. So if any Yankee fans out there that are like casually watching the sport, being like, "What's going on? Why is Gerrit Cole opting out?" It's just he just wants to get a little more bag. And in fact, he wants to stay with you a little bit longer. How about that? We'll spin it that nice way.
Yeah, 100%, right? And I do really think that this was one of those conversations that was probably had years ago.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, if you're still doing good, you'll do this, we'll do this, and that'll be that.
Yeah, nice round 10-year number, because it was a 9-year deal. Let's round it out to 10 if you are playing a little bit better and pay you a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly, right? So I do anticipate that Gerrit Cole is going to be sticking around with the New York Yankees. But I mean, I guess good thing for him, he had that great postseason like, you know, the good second half. Because I mean, if he did suck, he probably wouldn't be opting out of this right now. You know, he'd just be sticking around because might not be getting paid that much money. But another dude who is, I mean, had a really strong second half of their season, because in the first half was not playing that good, if I remember correctly. Blake Snell with the San Francisco Giants over there, man. Like, you know, Scott Boras' client, signed relatively late.
He did,
and you know, did not look like he was playing good baseball at the beginning of the year. And Blake Snell's always been one of those guys that when he's at his best, you couldn't make an argument that he's up there with the Gerrit Coles and the Corbin Burns of the world. But he's not necessarily as dependable or reliable, I think, as those guys. Like, he has had some bad years, and there's also been concerns in years past, even when he's like in the Cy Young conversation, you know, oh, well, he walks way too many guys, or like the whip is really high and stuff. And I do think that is a very valid concern. But in the second half of this season, like, he was balling out.
He was, dude. And he also got hurt too. So like, there was a part of that factor. Like, maybe there's a bit of an injury thing that was plaguing him early on, that when he was rushed back, because he signed so late and had to get ramped up so quick, it's kind of unfair. We saw what happened with Jordan Montgomery, where it's like you're trying to get built up so quick and play Major League Baseball right away. It's never a good idea to do that, and I think everyone learned their lesson. So, because in the first half, this dude pitched for a 6.31 ERA in 8 starts, 35 innings pitched. Yeah, and he did walk a crap load of guys. 17 walks to 42 strikeouts. That's a lot of walks.
Yeah.
But then in the second half, it was like night and day. This is what teams should have been expecting him to do from the get-go, was a ERA of 1.45 in 68 innings pitched, 12 starts, and the strikeout numbers were ludicrous. 103 strikeouts over 68 innings. So he was absolutely Cy Young, Blake Snell, 2023 Blake Snell, if not even better in the second half. So for me, if I'm a team walking into this offseason and Blake Snell opts out, I gotta target that guy early. And if I'm Scott Boras, is he still represented by Scott Boras? You gotta hope so. You gotta hope that Scott Boras learned that lesson.
He is.
Yeah,
so Boras Corporation.
Scott Boras he's gotta know his lesson here. So he's gotta get his guy paid early. No more waiting around, because it's just not the way to do it, man.
Dude, Blake Snell's career is such an interesting one to me. Like, you have, you know, the guy comes into the league at age 23 in 2016. He has 2 years that are like, okay, solid for like a newbie to the MLB, you know, around that higher 3 to low 4 ERA mark.
Yeah. Then
just explodes at age 25, wins Cy Young, then has 4 years in a row where he never finishes in the top Cy Young finishes at all. You know, it's not like he's getting any MVP votes. Like, there's literally nothing here, right?
No,
he's still playing okay baseball, but like, you know, just a guy. And then, boom, immediately last year becomes, you know, Cy Young again, with literally the league lead in walks of 99. Just a wild roller coaster of a career from Blake Snell. I can understand why teams were hesitant to go out and give him a big bag, because you look at last year.
Inconsistent.
That's the thing, right? It's so inconsistent, and the walks are extremely concerning. Like, how often do you win Cy Young and have an ERA of 2.25 when you lead the league in walks and have a whip of 1.189, which is still not a terrible whip, but like not a Cy Young level whip, right?
It just means he's giving up walks and not giving up hits. Like he's just going for strikeouts right now.
Pretty much.
which is true. I mean, he literally right now is the active leader among strikeout per nine. Like it was Robbie Ray back in the day. Yeah. Now it's him. He's the active leader, in walks per nine. And that gold mark on his Baseball Reference that means all-time career record. So he's right now the all-time career record as well.
There's nobody better at striking people out through
Blake
9
Snell.
innings than Blake Snell.
And he did it phenomenally last year. So, yeah, like I hear what you're saying. It's very consistent. Like I took that 4-year span where he was with Tampa Bay and San Diego, where he was just kind of average, and he literally was. He had an ERA plus of 102.
Yeah.
So it's just average. So, like, you're signing this guy with the floor of you'll get me through the season, you'll be good, and we'll feel great rolling you out every day. And then with the upside of you could win Cy Young, you could be one of the best pitchers in baseball.
Exactly, yeah. And I think that you just need to be okay, like whichever team signs him, of rolling that dice. Yeah. And like, well, if it's just going to be like we sign you to a 5-year deal and you're just going to be 5 years of average, well, we'll be okay with that. Like we can get by doing that. Yeah. I am going to be really interested to see like how much money somebody like a Blake Snell is going to be worth. Because this past contract, he was what, 25 or 1 year, $32 million.
Right. And then he had that opt-out.
Yeah, he had the opt-out. He decided to opt out. I get it. You think you can get kind of a bigger payday. Yeah, it should be a really interesting one to watch, man. Like, who's going to be in on him and how much money they're going to be willing to fork over to somebody like a Blake Snell.
It's so funny because, like, when I initially looked at Blake Snell's contract, dude was getting guaranteed $38.5 million next year. But, look, you're only so young for so long. He's 31 years old, and you gotta get that contract extension. You never know. What if you have a bad year next year?
Exactly, and it really just comes down like he probably isn't going to get paid $38.5 per year. In fact, I'd be shocked if he did. That'd be crazy. Yeah. But can he make more than $38.5 million over the course of a 3 to 4 to 5 year deal? Probably that is going to be the case. Right. So somebody's going to be interested in locking him up for 4 years, 5 years because he is age 31 right now. And if you're Blake Snell, and you can get a 5-year, $130 million contract, maybe even a little bit more than that. I don't know. I think you snatch that up.
Yeah, you do. Man, poor Giants. It feels like every year they'll bring in some guys and then just leave or.
Well, the Giants have always pretty much the entirety of the time that I've been a baseball fan, the Giants have just been really just the definition of mid.
Yeah, they had that 100 win season.
They did.
Recently, and it was like, what the?
Yeah.
How did this happen?
And nobody saw that one coming at all. It was just like completely out of the blue. Like they weren't, it's not like they had a whole lot of star power on there.
No.
Obviously didn't do what they wanted to do in the postseason that year. But yeah, they've just been just floating around mid. Good. But not great.
They need to make a splash finally. You win got Blake Snell, but obviously didn't help you at all this past year. They need to go make a big splash, man. I wonder what their payroll. I think they're up there in payroll now.
They're always they're definitely above average. Yeah, they're always above average.
Their projected total allocation of 143 for next year, so that's obviously not arbitration. They had 200. They were 8th in baseball in payroll, so just over the Toronto Blue Jays actually, who were 9th. So yeah, I mean it's like you got to go add, but you've been adding. Like you got Michael Conforto, you got Matt Chapman, you got Taylor Rogers. I feel like you need a superstar.
Well, I don't think that there's much of an identity there on San Francisco. You have a lot of solid baseball players, but there's nobody that I look to over there and think of being as kind of like the poster boy of your team.
Yeah,
right?
like Matt Chapman.
Yeah,
he's your highest paid player coming into next year, and Robbie Ray. Ugh.
Yeah, there's a lot of solid players, but not the poster guys, the guys that you want, I guess representing your team. Whereas you can think about majority of teams around the MLB, you think about some of their division rivals, right?
Right.
The Padres. You can think about Tatis immediately, and it's like, all right, well that's the big guy over there, and you go to the Dodgers and they have fucking multiple different big guys, but probably you can name that guy as being Shohei Ohtani at this point, right? So there's a lot of other teams out there that have at least one or two dudes who is okay, this is when people think about us, they think about those guys. And when I think about the San Francisco Giants, my brain kind of goes blank.
A collection of dudes.
Yeah.
A collection
of
dudes,
but not of good crazy dudes.
Yeah. One guy, actually, not to get totally off topic here, we'll move on and talk about some other guys, but we forgot about Young-Hoo Lee. Remember they signed Young-Hoo Lee?
Oh, wow.
He got injured, a season-ending injury back in May.
Mm-hmm.
But he obviously did not enough sample size to really know who he is. But, just OPS plus of 86, batting average 262, hit 2 homers. Nothing really crazy. But he's supposed to be a high batting average guy. They need that guy to be a dude.
Sure.
And he we got to hope that he does if you're a Giants fan.
Yeah, 100%, right? I mean, we've known for a long period of time that the international free agents, especially those that come from across the pond, you're rolling the dice a little bit, and sometimes you end up hitting big with Yamamoto and Ohtani. Granted, I think everybody kind of already knew that they were going to be
really good.
That way.
Yamamoto $300 million.
Yeah, right. This guy hadn't even pitched an inning of MLB and already getting paid more than majority of the people will ever see in their life.
Crazy.
So, I mean, credit to him. He did, in fact, deliver on that investment and is going to probably continue to do so as his career progresses.
Yeah.
But, Young-Hoo Lee was always potentially could be a high upside guy, but,
Yeah.
You got to deal with the ups and downs of it. I'm not out on him entirely, though.
No.
I still think that, coming back, coming healthy, he should be okay.
He's 26 years old. He's technically just a prospect.
Pretty much.
Right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what they are when they come over from, internationally. You're signing them, but you're signing a highly touted prospect.
Yes.
That's kind of what it is.
Yeah,
right?
could be, right? Yeah, just a bigger resume than
a bigger resume prospect in a more competitive league.
Yeah, 100%, man. But, we'll see what they decide to do with their team moving forward. Blake Snell maybe going to be on it, maybe not, because he has opted out of that deal. One dude that I really want to look at and talk about here is Devin Williams. Now, Devin Williams is arguably top five closer in MLB at this point, and I don't even think that that's too debatable.
No.
He is really, really damn good.
Dude, he's got an ERA of a career ERA of 1.83.
All right, so
innings.
you can maybe even argue that this guy is the best closer in baseball. He is really damn talented.
Him and Emmanuel Clase, I'd kind of put in that upper tier.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, the Milwaukee Brewers, being the Milwaukee Brewers and being just literally poor as sin, had the opportunity to retain this guy for what, $10.5 million?
Yeah, $10.5 million, and they declined the option. Initially, I was like, oh, wow, he's going to be a free agent. Apparently not so. Apparently they literally still have control of this guy because he has that option year turns back into an arbitration because he only has 5 years of service time. I had no idea
that doesn't make sense to me.
He signed a deal to cancel out the arbitration. I guess it doesn't cancel it out entirely. I guess if you include an option, then it reverts back to an arbitration. So he's going into arbitration hearings if they obviously don't agree on a number, which I think they probably won't agree on a number because of the Brewers.
Okay, let's think about this logically.
Yeah.
If the option was for 10.5, and now he's in the final arb year, we know that at the very least they're not going to want to give 10.5.
Yeah.
So they're going to be offering lower than that. And I don't know what his previous, I don't even know how you do that with his arbs because he, was the contract guaranteed before that?
Yeah, it was weird. So 2023, he got paid $3.3 million, and then an arbitration in 2024, he got paid $7.2. He's projected to get $8.4, and I think that's because he barely played this year. He only played 22 games and 21 innings pitched. So it's kind of like a little Jordan Romano situation, even though he was phenomenal in that.
That's
21
some bullshit
games.
right there, man.
And they're projecting him to get 8.4. So it's if I'm Devin, even though I was injured, I'd want my 10.
Yeah.
But they're not going to get it. They're not if I'm Devin, I'm actually going to try and ask for more money.
Yeah.
And go to the RP I don't care. I'm going to squeeze every little bit out of you. But yeah, if you take me to an arbitrator, I might have to do that.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Jordan Romano, my understanding of Jordan Romano is that he was projected to in the final ARB hearing make about 10 and a bit.
He's actually supposed to get 7.75 now.
7.7,
which is
wow.
a lot less because
that is a lot less. Damn. I mean, I personally this is baseball just being stupid in my opinion because I think that somebody like a Devin Williams, and I think we can all agree on it, is worth more than $8.5 million from an arbitration or whatever it is.
Final
that
arbitration?
Yeah. And I understand you're talking about somebody who pitched 21.2 innings this past season, but we're also discussing somebody who, in the entirety of his career, has been with the Milwaukee Brewers, won Rookie of the Year, has had an ERA of 1.83, has racked up 68 saves over 235.2 innings. This is a really damn good player right now.
Two-time reliever of the year, two-time All-Star. Like, this guy's phenomenal.
Yeah. The fact that he has, this is actually crazy to me. He doesn't start games.
No.
He doesn't start games. And usually relievers, they have a terrible win-loss record.
Right.
Because, they'll blow some games and whatnot. He's got a win-loss record of 27-10 as a reliever.
Crazy.
Has never started a fucking game before.
Oh, how many comeback wins do they have in the ninth inning?
Exactly, right?
What?
Like, clearly this guy, just shuts it down when the game's tied, potentially.
Wow.
And then, the team will come out and win a one-run game or something like that, But just goes to show how valuable somebody like this is to have, when the game is tight.
Yeah, I mean, you can rely on him. But this is just a classic example of, we talk so much about – we have been talking so much about the Dodgers and just splashing their money around, and they're going to splash their money around this offseason again because they apparently have – made more money than they expected this year, of course, because you had Ohtani. But, this is on the other end of the spectrum where you've got just the poorest of franchises. Like, if it's any other franchise that's not poor, like them or the A's or whatever, you smash the $10 million
Don't even think twice.
Don't even think twice. Keep your guy happy, smash it, move on. But now you got to go to arbitration, probably. Going to piss him off, and he's going to leave this team. And that's going to happen. Now, yeah, you got to imagine they're going to try and keep him because they're going to try and get him to a lower number. But I actually could see a reality where they just go, you know what, Devin, it's been nice, man. We're going to let you go now.
That would be
stupid.
That would be insane.
It'd be stupid, right? They might offer I don't even know. The right strategy for me, if I'm the Brewers, is, sure, you get him lower down in the arbitration. You don't plan on extending him next year because you're poor, because he's going to get paid a crap load next offseason. Offer him the qualifying offer next offseason, have him decline it, even though it's a scary thought for Brewers. Oh, my God, we're going to offer him $22 million. That's scary. But he'll probably decline it and then move on. But that's probably the way they got to go about it.
Yeah, of course. And let's not forget, the Milwaukee Brewers are a very good baseball team still, right?
Yeah.
They won their division handily.
Yep.
They should still be in the mix to do that again this coming year and probably once again make it to the postseason. I just feel bad for teams like that, especially the Milwaukee Brewers that are clearly a competent run organization and have good coaching and have good development and all that shit, because they're always, again, in the entirety time that I've been a baseball fan, San Francisco Giants have been mid, they've always been good. I'm not going to say that they've been great because they have to go up against these juggernaut teams, but they've always been good.
Yeah.
And that just goes to show how good that coaching is and everything like that.
Pitching development there is unreal. They'll just make another Devin Williams.
Exactly, right? But when they run into squads like the Padres or like the Dodgers, like the Phillies in the National League playoffs, it's so difficult to compete when you're looking at that payroll and thinking, damn, we got to go up against this juggernaut organization who's paying their setup man more than our closer.
Yeah,
right,
dude. It's just another Moneyball situation, man. I'm thinking about that opening scene with Moneyball, and it's literally, A's $36 million versus Yankees $114 million at the time. That was a lot. And it's just there you go. That's really what it is. Your Padres, or not, excuse me, your Brewer team is just, we're our 80 million team versus this literal billion team here.
Pretty much, yeah.
In the Dodgers. So.
Well, speaking about just money in general and, the Dodgers raking it in right now, I pulled up some statistics of this past World Series, and this was the best stretch of viewership the MLB has ever had. That's a real thing, everybody. So just a couple stats here, and a lot of this, by the way, is helping the LA Dodgers, and the rich getting richer. But on social media, the World Series delivered the most engagement and views of any 6-day stretch in MLB history. So that's your Instagrams, that's your Twitters, that's your whatever.
Right. Wow.
On YouTube, right? So of the 210 million views on MLB's YouTube page, that's just MLB, right? That doesn't go to that's not talking about us and other people who are third party creators who are creating shit about MLB. That's just MLB. 61% of those guys were international viewers. So that's a massive increase from anything, and you're seeing how this game is growing by having Shohei Ohtani, by having Yoshinobu Yamamoto. 5-game series, it drew more than 30 million viewers across North America and Asia, and there was an average of 12.1 million viewers per game. That's really good for MLB.
Insane.
That's really good. Considering what the average baseball game draws, that is a insane increase right there. Oh, and also, sales of Dodgers title-winning merchandise set a record for the first 24 hours following any championship clinch across all sports.
Yeah.
According to MLB.
Yeah.
So that's all major sports. I don't know if
Wow.
they're factoring in, like, Premier League soccer
Probably
or
not.
whatever. But, like, let's just
North
assume that they're
American.
talking about North American sports right here. Lakers,
Yeah.
fucking Kansas City Chiefs, New York.
Yeah.
All these teams, in the first 24 hours since they won their thing, they sold the most merchandise out of any of those
Oh my
teams
God.
ever in history. You got to imagine that number is probably, like,
Insane.
hundreds of millions, potentially. So
Insane.
they are raking in the money.
Oh, it's insane, man. I mean, Alden Gonzalez saying here, like, after spending $1 billion last offseason, the Dodgers are looking to double down because they just doubled up.
Yeah.
Let's pump more money into this massive money-making machine and go win again. So it is truly insane what we're seeing happen in front of us. And we knew, right? Last offseason, we talked about it. Whoever gets Shohei Ohtani is going to make a shitload of money.
Yeah.
And then they're going to be an even better team. They're going to keep getting better. As long as you have Ohtani, you're going to keep getting better.
And that's the thing. They hit on their investment, right?
They did.
Because even if you hadn't have won the World Series, like maybe you make it to the NLDS, and they were always a good team to begin with, so let's assume that they do that and they lose out. That would still have been a very successful monetary or financial season for the LA Dodgers. They still would have sold a bunch of merchandise. They still would have got a bunch of viewership, all that shit. But the fact that they also went on to then win the World Series, all of everything that they're selling, it's like the Ohtani contract is truly paying for itself and then some. And that's why you're seeing people come out talking about them and linking them to guys like Juan Soto, who are going to be getting a contract now potentially upwards of $700 million. Is it ridiculous that two $700 million guys would be playing on the same team? Is it even ridiculous that there is $700 million guys in MLB? Yes, to both of those questions right there. But the LA Dodgers, if any team's capable of doing this, it would be them.
Yeah. I mean, for sure. They can go and they can be in that market as much as they want. Absolutely. And here's the thing. Like, sure, if they don't get Juan Soto, like, it's not the biggest loss for them. Like, they literally have an amazing team.
They won the World Series without him.
They won the World Series without him. You could go get like Alden Gonzalez again on this ESPN article saying Blake Snell is like probably going to be a Dodger. Blake Snell could be a Dodger.
Yeah.
Corbin Burns could be a Dodger. If Gerrit Cole opts out, that would just be the biggest slap in the face of Gerrit Cole. They don't pick up the option. He goes signs. Well, that's your fault, Yankees.
Yeah,
but,
exactly. That would be the Yankees bad right there. I've always thought that the biggest slap in the face would be the Juan Soto thing.
That would be,
but this would be like right there as well.
Yeah, it'd be even more because he has been a Yankee for
5
so
years,
long, and we all know the history of him holding the sign, a Yankee forever, all that kind of thing. So that would just
I
be
wouldn't
ridiculous.
I would not blame Gerrit Cole at all if that happened, because that would just be pure okay, Yankees, you fumbled this one. So if they don't pick up his option, in my opinion, Gerrit Cole is fair game, bro. Go wherever you want.
For sure. And obviously we're talking about all these big superstars for the Dodgers can go, but they do have a lot of holes they need to fill up. They're losing Teoscar, losing Jack Flaherty, losing Walker Buehler, losing Blake Trine and Tommy Edman. They're going to have the money to go just patch up a team and go run it out next year.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? I'm assuming that all of that is going to be dealt with anyways.
Yeah.
The
and
superstar is the cherry on top, right?
Yes.
Honestly, for Dodgers, this is the life of luxury that Dodgers fans get to live with. Just to patch the holes for them.
Yeah.
To bring back Teo, to bring back Trinan, to maybe go out and, get somebody that's like a Tommy Edman, whatever. Just to patch the holes. I think that they would look at that as an L off season. Which is fucking crazy because you just won a World Series and, it's not like Teoscar Hernandez is not a big acquisition or Blake Trine wouldn't be a big any other team, they might make that the one and only move they do this offseason. But for Dodgers fans, because they've done so much over the last 3, 4, 5 years, bringing in all of these superstars just to retain the team that they have, I think that they look at that as a disappointment. And that's why they're probably going to see them go out and get a Blake Snell or get a Corbin Burns or get a fucking Juan Soto, right? This is what they do.
Yeah, they'll go, and they have also the luxury of the fact that people want to come play for you.
Exactly.
If I'm a free agent right now, there's no better team I can go to
100%.
than the Dodgers because you're getting money when you make it far in the postseason, and then there's no other team that's this much of a guarantee that you're going to the like World Series year after year after year. You're going to make a crap load of money playing there. You're going to pay a crap load of money because they're going to keep reinvesting into you, and you're going to have a lot of fun.
Yes,
and you're going to be a superstar, and you're going to win rings. Like
that's the thing.
No better team to play for than the Dodgers.
You know, it's like if you are a quality baseball player right now, they are the number one on your list, and it's also got to be. I guess like really rewarding if they are even interested in you, right? Because that's the team that rosters Ohtani and Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman and all these other incredible different baseball players.
Yeah.
And for them to then be calling my name, you know, that's got to be like a thing of fucking respect.
God.
You know, like if you're somebody like a Devin Williams, for instance, who's been living in fucking, you know, poverty Milwaukee forever, and then the LA Dodgers give you a call, you're like, damn, I made it, you know, and of course I'm gonna answer that phone call and like be very interested, right? So they're ahead of everyone right now, and with all the money that they're raking in and the rumors that are out there with what they're gonna do, I just find it hard to believe that anyone's going to be catching them very soon.
Dude, now you said it, I can't not see it. Devin Williams is a Dodger. He some way or another.
If it's
maybe
not this year, but it will be following,
It
right?
will be following. He's going to get absolutely paid. Like, they're losing a lot of guys this offseason. There's not really, like, a strong class. There's a lot of good guys out there, relievers, but like no Devin Williams types out there this year.
Yeah, the one thing where they like don't have a locked in superstar might be like, you know, a save guy.
Yeah, they're closer. Yeah,
again,
Trinan is because he's a free agent now.
Yes, exactly. Trinan is great, by the way, everybody. But you know, Blake Trinan for most of his career was always kind of just like a really elite setup man.
Yeah, really elite setup.
You know, like it's like you don't have any like hard flamethrower in the back end right there.
It was always like
Kenley Jansen
for
the longest time, you know. So yeah, I guess that's the one area that they could get, you know, an even better superstar, and Devin Williams would be the guy. So
why not? Go get it done. Go get it done, Dodgers. Real quick before we continue, let's give a little shout out here to Betway, everybody. Hit your picks and knock it out of the park with Betway. Scan the QR code on the screen right here and click the link in the details section to join the action. Available in Ontario only. Must be 19 plus. Please play responsibly. Little pivot right here from baseball going over to football. Tonight's game, as we're recording this, you got the Kansas City Chiefs. You got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are heavy underdogs, losing Chris Godwin, losing Mike Evans. They're 4.5 right now for the money line, and then the Chiefs are 1.22. You think the Chiefs are gonna win with the referees tonight, and it's a guaranteed lock?
Yeah, it feels pretty low. They're at home, are they not?
Yeah, they're at Arrowhead. It's they got the camera set up. They got the Chiefs crew there. Yeah. They got Taylor Swift's probably going to be in the house. Easy.
Yeah, Chiefs have been playing garbage football. Actually, that's rude because like they're 7-0 and they're incredible.
Mahomes is playing garbage football.
Yeah, they're playing pretty ugly football right now, but it just goes to show how deep that roster is, that they are still winning games, and also just goes to show how incredible the coach Andy Reid is, that he's finding ways to scheme them into victories, even though Patrick Mahomes is like not, you know, just like vanished, you know, just going ghost mode this year. So
is he still favorites for MVP?
He'll definitely be in the top 3.
You can check on Betway though.
Yeah, which is a wild thing.
Stupid.
And I hate that that's the case, but because his name is Patrick Mahomes and because everybody likes him, he's always going to be up there. But yeah, give me the Kansas City Chiefs by infinity tonight.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield would have to just go absolute god mode.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't know, Bucky Irving is.
I think he's questioned. I don't think he's playing.
He's not even name me a good playmaker on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that isn't, you know, dealing with some sort of ailment right now. I can't do it.
Rashad White.
Yeah,
Otten. I don't even know it's for Kate Otten.
That's what I mean, man. Like it feels like we're grasping at straws here. This feels like an easy one. It feels like a layup.
Yeah.
Give me Kansas City Chiefs by 1,000,000.
Yeah, I'll take Kansas City Chiefs like with the point spread. It's 1.9 multiplier. It's 9.5, so negative 9.5.
Well, they got to win by 5.
They got to win by 10. I think they're going to win by 10, dude. I mean, hey.
Yeah,
they're gonna do it.
It's probably going to be a shit show. We'll see what happens, everybody. We'll probably have that game in the background watching it. But yeah, let us know who you are riding with down below.
Let's keep going. Let's talk about Juan Soto. We were kind of mentioning him a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Juan Soto and the Yankees is a tough situation right now. When we were walking into this postseason and even in the regular season, I think both you and I were saying guaranteed Juan Soto will be a Yankee. It's like it's going to be a little bit of a back and forth, but like Yankees, they're going to get him. I don't think that's the case anymore. Like I actually don't think the Yankees are the favorites anymore because of how open he is to hearing offers from every single team. That's what he said. All 30 teams he's going to listen to. And our Toronto Blue Jays, who made splashes last year to try and drive up the price of Shohei Ohtani, well, they're back, everybody.
Yeah.
They're back, and apparently they're going to go all out for Juan Soto, according to Hector Gomez. This isn't guaranteed that they're going to actually sign him, of course, or anything, but this is just saying Blue Jays, they're going to drive up the price tag, probably going to be used as leverage because everybody knows, even Scott Boras knows, the Jays, they got money and they can put an offer of 600, 650, maybe even 700 million out there, and another team's gonna have to go pay for it if they really want them.
Well, fucking do it, guys. Like, put your money where your mouth is, right? Like, if you're gonna be in on it, don't finish second place again. Don't finish third place. Everybody is like really triggered in Blue Jays land right now about how they did finish second in the Shohei Ohtani sweepstakes and how we were so close, or we thought we were so close.
Thought we were.
When everybody
we were
was
watching a plane.
Literally,
we were all tracking a plane on a Friday afternoon.
Yes, thinking that Shohei Ohtani was going to be landing in Toronto. Obviously, that didn't happen. The rest is history. Now he's a World Series champion. Did he make the right choice? I don't know. You tell me. But I would almost argue that instance might make us might make the Toronto Blue Jays even more willing to go all in for Juan Soto. Sometimes, and this happens in a lot of sports, right? My team just took a bad L in football. They did. But sometimes you got to take a bad L to grow, And this is a real thing, right? Like, if it's all fucking easy mode, then, it doesn't mean anything, right? But sometimes you got to take that bad L to motivate you to go even harder.
Right.
And I wonder if the fact that the Toronto Blue Jays lost out on Shohei Ohtani and took a major L is going to motivate them to make sure that it does not happen again.
Now, do you think... I agree with you. Now, do you think that could be a little bit of delusion happening on the Blue Jays end? Because, if they go all out for Juan Soto to offer the exact same amount of dollars for a Juan Soto, look, if they go out, it's probably going to take $700 million for the Blue Jays to get Juan Soto.
Yeah.
If they go and they do that, is that delusion because we're seeing the return on investment for Ohtani? Yeah, they're going to win a World Series, and they're getting all this advertisement dollars and getting all this viewership from Japan. Juan Soto's not going to have that same effect with the Toronto Blue Jays. Like, Dominican, I don't know, is not going to go out and crazy and watch Juan Soto. We would have already heard about it for right now. And plus, we already have Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Who knows? But I don't know if it's going to be the same return on investment. Plus, you look at the Blue Jays right now, and is Juan Soto going to fix that bullpen? Is Juan Soto going to add depth to the lineup? Yeah, absolutely. But there's a lot of more problems, I think, in Blue Jay land where it's like not just that quick fix, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that Juan Soto immediately makes you a World Series caliber team, and there's a lot more that you need to do.
Yeah.
I do think that it would help with viewership and with merchandise. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah.
Even if you don't, because the Toronto Blue Jays, like, they're in a spot where, yeah, it would be great if you could get the entire country of Japan on your side, but you also have the entire country of Canada. True. And right now, the entire country of Canada is not bought in on your baseball team and, the progression that we've seen from this squad and from this organization. You want me to buy back in? Sign fucking Juan Soto.
That's true.
Because the second that you sign Juan Soto, literally 5 hours after this guy is confirmed, pen on paper, I am buying the jersey.
Me too.
I am like literally putting a future bet on Betway for Juan Soto MVP. I'm all the way back.
Yeah.
You have now, yes, you've bought Juan Soto, but you've also bought my viewership and my hope back if you go out and you do that. So, no, of course, Juan Soto is not going to immediately, like, bring this team to the World Series. Maybe, I don't know, maybe he would.
Maybe.
But,
He's fucking awesome.
He would bring back a sense of hope and excitement to a roster right now that is depleted, that does not look exciting, that is, kind of boring to watch.
It's boring.
Right?
It's boring.
Juan Soto, at the very least, maybe he doesn't make you a World Series contender, but he at least makes you fun to watch again.
Absolutely. And obviously there's a lot of questions that would be raised around Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Like, can they also get Vladdy's contract compared to Juan Soto's contract? Looks like a pipsqueak.
It'll be half.
Yeah, it's literally half, if less than, like, you look pipsqueak compared to him. But, just imagine that. Let's say you find a reality where you sign Juan Soto, you sign Vladimir Guerrero Jr. for 10 years. you have these two Dominican young superstars at 26 years old, and they're playing together back-to-back in the lineup. Juan Soto 2, Vladdy 3. That is exciting. That's an identity that you can absolutely get behind. That's what identity that free agents can get behind when they want to come play for Toronto. That's exciting to me. That's how you get all the way back.
Of course, right? Like you can, if you retain both those guys. And for me, like if they go out and they get Juan Soto, like, I mean, I'm fully reserved to the fact that Vladimir Guerrero won't be allowed Toronto, and I'm actually totally okay with that because
the trade-off.
Yeah, and I believe in Juan Soto so much, and I believe in the talent there. Now, if there was any way to get both of them, holy mother of God, you're absolutely right. Like now it does feel like there is something there. Keeping in mind, everyone, getting both of those guys just on a yearly basis probably going to cost you $80 to $90 million. Just those two guys alone. That's 1 year, right? I'm thinking Soto gets 50 and Guerrero gets 35, right? Like, that's where we're at. So it would be a shitload to have those dudes on your baseball team. But we just saw from the LA Dodgers, sometimes you got to spend money to make money. It worked out really good for them. What can we do? Are we going all out? Are we actually going to do this thing or not?
I hope so, man. And we're going to be tracking planes on Blue Jays today. So everybody, get your plane trackers out. Get your stream watchers going because we'll be there. We'll be there, guys. Real quick shout out here to Greta Bar, everybody. Before we continue on, Greta Bar, downtown Toronto, over 50 arcade games, super great food they got there. They turn into a club at night, super great vibes. I gotta go back there now that like baseball season's kind of over. It's like I want to go back to Greta Bar and play some games because they got that one like big Twister game I actually love.
I do like the Twister game. They got a cool baseball game there too that I'm a big fan of.
Just get a beer and like play that game.
Yeah. It's literally like it feels like a slot machine but for baseball.
Yeah, literally.
Like, it is really addicting. Fun. It's really fun. So definitely go check out Greta Bar, folks. Let's move on and talk about something a little bit kind of ridiculous here. There was a recent report talking about how the San Diego Padres found a superstar prospect. Like they knew immediately this guy, 14 years old, just absolutely just crunching the baseball, destroying that thing left, right, and center. And they were set up to give this dude an offer of $4 million the second that he turned 16. And to put that in perspective, last year there was only, I think, 3 guys, only 3 players in this year's cycle signed for more than $4 million. So that just goes to show that when you get up to that $4 million mark, you are talking about the creme to the creme, this is the best of the best type of prospect here. We are all anticipating that this guy is going to play in the MLB, and he's going to be really, really good one day. We hope that maybe this could be an all-star in future. So Padres are thinking to themselves, we got a steal of a deal here. Right. But wait, what's that on the birth certificate? Do we see that properly? This 14-year-old that was supposed to sign with the San Diego Padres, going to be a massive prospect for them, is actually 19 years old. This is somebody that was playing in the U12 Baseball World Cup in 2022. That means that he would have been doing that at 17 years old. That's under 12, and he was a 17-year-old playing there. And obviously, I mean, like, he was doing pretty good.
No wonder why he's doing so good. He's smacking homers off 12-year-olds.
Yeah. It's like, damn, like, this, 50-mile-per-hour cookie is looking pretty good to me.
Yeah, dude, like 12 to 17 is a huge leap.
Massive.
They're not even going through puberty yet.
No.
Their arms are like twigs. So, yeah, of course this guy is, like, absolutely killing it. So, I guess they're not going to – are they not
Well, I mean, he's fucking – no, of course not.
I mean, he's – like, I guess you don't really. How could you judge this guy? They're like, well, okay, well, is he actually good, or are we just being lied to?
No, I mean,
he's playing in the wrong league.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like, of course, like, no, like he's not.
What is he thinking? Like, what is going on?
He's thinking that he's going to get away with it. And actually, like, listen to this, though. Okay, there was a similar incident in 2009 when a supposedly 19-year-old Washington Nationals prospect going by the name of Esmilian Smiley Gonzalez turned out to be 23 years old.
Oh, my God.
But they only found that out after they paid him a bonus of $1.4 million.
Oh,
so this has actually worked out in the past before, for some of these Dominican players.
You know what? I think it actually goes to show, like, Dominican players, a lot of them growing up, and this is from their words to mouth, a lot of these MLB players, like, they grow up and it's like baseball's a way for them to, like, provide for their families, like a huge, like, so I wonder if, like, just the strat, like man, I'm never going to go pro, but if I could fake it, get my bonus, and then I'm out. Because $4 million would have been a lot of money.
That's the thing, if you get that $4 million, it's like, okay, like, I'm good now. Like, that is literally the strat. And then he's just hoping that, for whatever reason,
fake it till you make it.
Yeah, and then we're gone. Like, we're in the wind.
Dude. Obviously they obviously have background checks now, but like, can you imagine there's a guy who played and it's like we thought the whole time he was like, wow, this 24-year-old young prospect. It's like, why does he have gray hair? What's going on here? He looks a lot older. 24. Yeah, so I wonder if like back in the day anyone got kind of through, but that's crazy, man. Well, I guess go get your bag. You got a little bit already, right?
Yeah. You're gonna have to find another way at this point because I think the $4 million wasn't gonna come in until he turned 16, which would have been in 2020. I mean, he's already turned 16, but in the lie, it would have been 2027. So, yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, that would again if it worked out for him, like holy shit, like that would have been crazy.
Yeah.
But sadly, they did do a little bit too much due diligence on you, buddy, and found out that you are not who you claim to be. So just a little funny tidbit right there, man. Careful of the prospects that you're signing because they might not be as elite as you think.
No, they won't. They might not be, guys. Last thing before we sign off here. Gold gloves. Hey, we got some winners, everybody. We have a ton of not surprises here, honestly. You got Bobby Witt actually winning a Gold Glove for the first time in his career.
Deserves it, man. Deserves it.
Big
incredible game or incredible season.
Incredible season. You got another Gold Glove here, won by Stephen Kwan. He's showing up on a pretty good resume over there. Third baseman Alex Bregman. It was a nice little surprise. Not like overly great, but good enough, where he won.
Yeah,
that Gold Glove.
He was like really, really solid, and like I think like this is really good for Alex Bregman too, and just like his value on the free agency market, right? Because like you think about what you want in a third baseman.
Mm-hmm.
I want somebody who is dependable over there. I want somebody who can lock it down. I also want somebody who can hit, and that is what Alex Bregman's going to provide to you. Like I was seeing on Spot Rack, they had his value, his projected contract. Or close to like the $30 million range. I was like, that's like really high.
Lot, yeah.
But when you think about the going rate for a 30-year-old who is still hitting really well, who just won a Gold Glove at one of the toughest positions to play in baseball, in the third base bag, you go to yourself, okay, like that's a really valuable position,
Right.
And like we know what we're gonna get here. Like let's lock it down with Alex Bregman. So for him, I mean, congratulations, dude. That should help your payday quite a bit.
Yeah, it should, right? Just like solidifying that defense over there at the hot corner. This one's crazy. I mean, we were just talking about Toronto Blue Jays. Dalton Varsho is like the best defender in baseball. Might even win a Platinum Glove. I wonder when that comes out, actually. But he won his first Gold Glove. Can you believe it? Like, guy's been one of the best defenders the last 3 seasons and finally won a Gold Glove. Like, that's ludicrous to me that he only has one.
It is kind of ludicrous. Like we'd have to look back at every year and kind of just like look at who else was doing what, and it's like, is that the MLB being stupid, or did he just happen to run into all these guys having crazy years?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean,
this is well earned.
Yeah, like last year I think Kwan won because he was kind of playing more left field. Kwan won left field over Dalton Varsho, which was nuts because he had way more outs above average than Kwan. Kwan's still a great defender, not taking anything away from him. But, like, he was clearly the guy there. But good thing he won it this year. That's well earned. And then over on the NL side of things, you had Matt Chapman winning his 5th. Dude's I think what was it right here I saw? He was like, he won something like wild. Like he's the 3rd player ever to win 5 Gold Gloves. Or something like that. Maybe I'm reading this wrong. Matt Chapman is the 5th active player to win 5 Gold Gloves. So big shout out to Matty Ice, former J.
Do people ever like get put in the Hall of Fame just for like defense?
I think it helps, like for sure. Like
sure,
I think you see all the Gold Gloves, you're like, well, that was obviously a solid guy.
Like I think about somebody
defense,
like an Nolan Arenado. He is a Hall of Famer. Yeah. Like just one, he was really good at hitting for a long period of time. I hope that he can bounce back and whatnot. But also too, like probably the best defender of our generation. But Matt Chapman's not horrendously far behind Nolan Arenado, and just in terms of like the production that he's had at the hot corner. He's had 2 Platinum Gloves to his name now, 5 Gold Gloves. So and again, like a really nice career slash line too, all said and done, a 38.4 WAR. I mean, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer or anything like that, but keep winning Gold Gloves. Who knows?
Matt Chapman? Yeah.
Anything can happen, man.
I mean,
at the end of the day, he's got 38.4 WAR. You have a couple more seasons. You get up to that like 50, 60 WAR range. I mean, it would take a lot. But then you start to get in the conversation. Go, oh damn, like this guy did a lot.
Yeah, no, I hear you, but I think you need to be a much better hitter to get in the Hall of Fame. Like to answer your question, do people get in the Hall of Fame for glove? I don't really think so. Like, I can't actually. Like, most of the time, every year when they announce the Hall of Fame inductees, it's usually a big hitter. Usually a big hitter, and then they happen to have great glove.
Right.
So. Yeah, I'm gonna bet against Matty Ice going to the Hall of Fame.
I would bet it against it as well, but still got a lot of work to do if you were gonna do it.
Hey, you signed to San Fran for a long time. Go crazy in the second half of your career, and then we'll talk.
Yeah, again, that's what I mean, right? Like if you finished off your career with an OPS over 800, and you had like, I don't know, 7 or 8 Gold Gloves to your name, you start to go.
Exactly.
Maybe there is something there, right?
Like maybe, and I don't think you'll ever do this, but maybe he's a late bloomer, and then all of a sudden, I think we've seen the best of Matty Ice, honestly. But like maybe he's a late bloomer, and he comes around because last 4 years he has an OPS under 800.
Yes.
But it's not horrible. Actually, he had the best year in a while.
He did. He was playing really good with the San Francisco Giants. And keep in mind, too, man, like 7.1 WAR is what he had this year. That would have been the best on the Toronto Blue Jays by a wide margin. So, I mean, like, not like he had a bad year or anything. No. He played really good baseball.
So speaking of Dolan Varsho, that's why I've always said, like, man, if Dolan Varsho could have, like, a decent bat, like, it's not like Matt Chapman's bat's, like, crazy good or anything, but, like, a decent bat, he'd be great because Dolan Varsho had a 5 WAR.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, this is what, I mean, when the Toronto Blue, I don't want to get too off topic here, just talking about Blue Jays, but when they made the trade for Dalton Varsho, the year that Matt Chapman just put up is what they were hoping for from Varsho. But, obviously as an outfielder, right? You're talking about somebody that had 27 home runs, 98 runs scored, a 790 OPS, like very quality bat, but then also wins a Gold Glove and has a WAR of 7.1, right? That's what they traded for. That's what they gave up all those assets to acquire. I mean, the defense has been incredible from Dalton Varsho. The bat has not been there. It's never even been close to these numbers. So, I mean, that's got to come around quite a bit if he ever wants to get up to this level.
It definitely does. So big shout out to all the Gold Glove winners, and a big shout out to all the free agents who are absolutely going to get paid this offseason. Guys, that concludes this episode of Bad for Baseball. Let us know on our YouTube channel in the comment section. What do you think about the whole Gerrit Cole thing? What do you think about Juan Soto? Because that's going to be an ongoing talking point throughout this entire offseason. So if you've got any cool predictions, let us know in the comments down below.
Yeah, hit that like, smash that subscribe button. Thanks so much for watching, folks, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Cheers.